Let me adjust this little camera here. All right. Hang out with the lions today. How do you feel about that? It's me, Zen. It's you, wherever you are. Hope you're well. I wanted to maybe cover something that's been covered in countless videos of mine, but it bears worth repeating because, well, it pretty much is the foundation for many of our dilemmas that we have, and it's pretty simple. It's that people don't somehow can't get it through their heads that most everything that you're interacting with is a business. It's a business. And if you understand how a business functions, how it runs, then you can understand where you fit into the equation. You are almost never going to be in a position where the business, well, let me rephrase that. You'll never be in a business where be in business with a larger corporation. If you're receiving something, it's not for your benefits. You're not getting you're getting the shorter end of the stick, if there's even that to be had. The dirty, filthy stick. You're getting, when people continually think that somehow their best interest is somehow involved in a business. Have you never run a business? I mean, of course you're not a scallywag. You're not someone that wants to, screw over anyone by any means. But the first rule of any business is to make a profit. So, as you find yourself wanting to make more profits, the gap between what's being offered and what the service or product being provided, it either becomes less quality, up to the point of perhaps making it break on purpose, up to the point of making something addictive. This is the as a business continues on, it's not, unless it's a private business, which is, even in private businesses, that's there's still a profit to be made. But in larger businesses that are corporations, they have people that invest into their stocks, invest into it, and they want to make money. And the larger the business, the more that they'll do to make more money. So when you talk to someone and they don't recognize that everything they're dealing with, they're the customer. You're rarely not the customer. What's up, Divine? What's up, Melissa? And this is why everyone deals with such nonsense, is because the majority of people, they forget they're the customer, which means it's not the customer's right. It's not the customer gets more than the business is giving out. It's the other way around. So when people think that they hear the word healthcare, that they want you to be healthy, they don't. They're dealing with sick care. They're dealing with customers. They don't want you to be healthy. It's not in their business model. You don't argue about the guy that your doctor or nurse or general practitioner or whoever. They might be a good person. But I don't want to hear it because they're coming from a indoctrination schooling system that teaches them about pharmaceuticals, not about health. And they want you to be addicted to the pharmaceutical. They want you to get burnt, cut, poisoned. You are nothing more than a practice to them and profiteering. So you can't think that any of these, what business has been there going, I'm going to go out of my way as a business to make sure that you get more than I'm getting. It's never going to happen. And then you get to the points of the businesses that to continually just go, we don't care what it costs, it's just business. They'll car companies. I'm sure you've heard of car companies that there was, back in the late 70s, early 80s, there was a problem with the car, with a, I don't know, Honda, Ford, I don't know what it was, whatever. And the dilemma was to, well, what would it cost us to recall these cars? What would it cost us to recall the part of the problem and replace it versus what would be the cost in getting sued over somebody hurting themselves because of the problem with the car, like their brake lines didn't work or something. I don't remember what it was. And it turned out it was cheaper for them to not fix the problem, to not recall the problem. So what did they do? They didn't. And it cost them lots of money in claims, but it was still less than fixing it. That's in every single business. That's how it's always worked. That's how it's always will work, because they have no there's no there's no responsibility for business. The business itself, they can shut it down, and then a bankruptcy, who cares? Start another business, shell corporation, to start a new one. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're, no matter what kind of unhealth, disease, or harm the business causes. And this is all over the map. Anything you're looking at. I don't, food products, look at all the nasty shit that's in food. We got to put food dye, and that was giving people cancer, but let's just change the number and change the thing. Like, how many things are, causing unhealth in people in the food game? Pretty, most of it. You think that iatrogenic deaths, disfigurement, dismemberment, disease, iatrogenic means doctor induced? Do you know like it's probably third, but in reality it's first. It would be the number one cause of death and disease. If you really said, well, why does all these other things happen? Like there's kind of like if they write you the wrong prescription, it's an immediate thing. Not that they wrote you the wrong, like a bad prescription for years and caused you to be sick, and that doesn't count, right? But across the board, even the things that they claim where they screwed up. Oops, I cut the wrong leg off. Oops, I made a mistake during surgery. Oops. Even across that, it's still third amongst things that people expire from. And they're happy saying that. Yet it's probably first. And I don't even say probably, it's definitely first. We go, no, that's trustworthy. Why? It's not that the individuals within any corporation or business, it's not that the individuals are bad people or that they want it to be that way, but they're blinded by the education that they were the consumer of. They consumed the education. Now, whatever their education was, they bought and paid for it. How would they ever want to say that their education wasn't worth it or that it's wrong? If you paid $100,000 a year for a few years of college, you in there for 6 to 8 years, whatever, get your PhD, you think you know something. You really think, like, those people that have a PhD, they really think they're hot shit. They think they know something. And truth be told, no, they're just the most well-trained idiots. Some of them are very good at things, yes, no doubt, and obviously more learning and longer time immersing yourself in figuring something out, sure, but these people are not interested in becoming scholars. They're interested in trivial pursuits. They'll pay that, they'll give them a paycheck. They all want to go on Jeopardy. They don't really care about functional knowledge that would result in scholarship, scholarly efforts, scholarly deepening of insight and wisdom and health and well-being. So when I talk to people, it's almost like no matter what conversation we get into, I'm like, at what point do you think the institution that you're interacting with has your best interest at heart? Pick an organization, and I guarantee they don't. You think the car dealership does? No, they don't. They're trying to get over you every single time. The mechanic, Of course. You take your car in a mechanic, there's going to be 10 things wrong with it, not just one. You know that. Where is anybody trying to undersell you, or somebody not trying to sell you more, or I mean, it just doesn't happen. It's not going to happen. Who are you doing business with that's ever the truth, that you're the one in command, control, and it's for your best interest? So whenever we interact and deal with other people, you have to make sure that they're aware of that. So whenever I say something, if I just say what I'm going to say, then they could be, oh, they've got a million ways of deconstructing it. But I'm like, well, you have to start on footing, which is every conversation we'll have is 100% directly related to business that we're interacting with, and you tell me when and what business is there for your benefit. And if they're being honest, they won't be able to come up with one. It's like, do you really, like, you asked people 2 years ago, they trusted politicians. Now they do. You can ask people 2 years ago how much they were against, about 2.5 years ago, how much they were against, the medical mafia, pharmacia, the pharmaceutical industry. How much most people, they still believe in it to a degree. They still believe in the notion that they've fixed something sometime, which is completely ridiculous. But nonetheless, who's really thinking that the research for cancer, how many years that's been going on, and how many, it's got to be in the trillions of dollars at this point. You just hand them money, you just donate money so they can study it, so they can research it. Yet there's so many people out there that have apparently adjusted, fixed, helped with that problem by doing things that didn't, that not. It seems like there seems to be some solutions, but once those things are solved, where's the money? Where's that money going to then? Okay, take away trillions of dollars, take away those doctors and nurses and scientists, and take away all the treatment, and all of a sudden you've destroyed a business model. Who's doing that? Who's going to destroy a business model? You have to be clueless to think that's ever going to happen, and to think that on some large scale now that's happening. That like now they're really like, we've got to save the world. We care. It's goofy. Who's up anyway? What's up, no ID? You like the spirulina? I got a bunch of spirulina. I the first couple times I used it, I did it in a mixture. It might have been bad, man. I just didn't have a good tummy with it. It didn't really agree with me. Could have just been. I was like spirulina, chlorella, and something else. Could have been too much. It could have been a bad batch, but I'm thinking, well, spirulina. So moon spirit. That's interesting. I never even spiral lunar. Yeah, I like it. That could be. Never consider it. I will now go back into my stash of things and check that out. Yeah, spiral or spirit. And a lot of people do swear by it. It's just not one of the things that I got into to know about too much. Like all the green, whenever the green juice fad was the thing. Not that it's bad or anything. I just didn't get into it. I did chlorophyll for quite a while. Chlorophyll with mint. Makes your armpits smell real good. That was when I was also more when I was more veggie headed. Oh, Cindy, you're in Kentucky? Yeah, I always wonder about these weather events. Like how much it was inorganic, man-influenced, man-made, and how much of it is beyond just the wind event. You know, like whenever I see it on TV, like my first position on seeing anything on television is it's made up, it's staged, and it's bullshit. I'm not saying that tornado or hurricane, because I know that they exist. I've lived through hurricanes. I understand wind events, but there's also like when I see something like, did that really happen because of that, or is that some other, you know? Let me use an example. All of the history that we have on, say, the Civil War, to me is trash. Right? It's trash. And all of what you see, the pictures are so staged. And, when and how did that building was taken down with cannonballs or something. Like, cannonballs, that's not even what they were used for. It's silly. Like, who's moving those things? Who's putting those in place? It's all very flimsy. So, the technology these days to be destroying things in a different way. That's all I'm saying is, like, were those things purposefully destroyed? And what other things could they use to destroy it? It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, the damage is real. Yeah, of course. It's just like of what was the doing, what was the cause. There's a farm in Florida fed by seawater. No shit. Did not know this. Oh, no idea. Okay, for real? Then I'll get on that. Then in that case, I probably was overdoing it. Hey, well, check it out. Tornadoes seem to be man-made to some degree. I mean, do we see any history books with the speaking of tornadoes? I don't know. They seem strange. I've seen miniature ones, but I don't. Hurricanes seem a little interesting too, considering how they always end up. And they're like, well, it's the weather, it's the heat and the pressure systems. And I'm like, well, we know that can be influenced. Like, yeah. So check it out. This where I am. What's up, ducks? I went and seen the ducks today. They closed the park to do lights and like drive through the park and see. It's so ridiculous because you should be able to just walk through. It used to be free. You walk through it and they light up the entire park and it's awesome. And now because of that thing that's happening, like they're charging people $40 for a car and you can only drive through it. It takes away the whole experience. It's so ridiculous. But whatever. Anyways, and it's getting a little chilly. As soon as that sun goes down, it's going to be quite chilly. So I think I'm gonna get out of here. I thought this would be a quick one, just as a reminder. Whenever you talk to people, you gotta hit them with what kind of business, like who are we doing business with, and tell me where's these honest politicians and pharmaceutical reps and businessmen. They don't exist. Yeah, so I'm ass out of here. It's good to see everybody. Stay weird. If you want to, feel free. CashApp, PayPal, Venmo. It's in the description box. Whether you're entertained or educated or whatever, or if you just think I'm cool, or if you just felt like giving because it's the holiday season, feel free. And take care of yourself because you're the most important thing there. And help out others when you can. And I'll talk to you all soon. Stay weird. Peace out, y'all.